So now we are standing exactly at the southwest corner of the Temple Mount. Here, to my left, we have the southern wall of the Temple Mount compound and the western wall behind me. You see the stones, everybody, can you hear me? You see the stones jutting out of the wall in the corner here, correct? What that is the remains of Robinson's Arch. Robinson's Arch is the entryway into the temple for only the priestly families. So another purpose that the royal portico had was for Gentiles, non-Jews, would come there and look in awe at what was happening in the temple because they could not enter down below. So that was another purpose of the royal portico. What exists there now? The gray dome in front of us is the third holiest site on earth for the Islamic religion. This is the Al-Aqsa Mosque. What it says in the Quran is that Muhammad made a night journey which brought him to heaven. And he went from the near mosque, which is interpreted as Mecca, to the distant mosque, which is interpreted as, or it's referred to in the Quran as Al-Aqsa. Al-Aqsa in Arabic means the distant one, the far one. That's the name of that mosque. Muslims today interpret Al-Aqsa as a reference to Jerusalem.
That's the pillar where Judah Iscariot kissed Jesus. This is 1924, Berluzzi Italiano. He's a very famous architect here. Did a lot of churches. Inside, I cannot explain and I don't want to make noise. We call it the Basilica of Agony. Because here Jesus said that he was kissed by Judah Iscariot and was given to Pontius Pilate. Later on, Judah Iscariot committed suicide in a valley there.
Silence please in the church. Silence please.
You see two chapels, two black chapels.
Yes.
This is the San Sepulchre.
Oh, that's the San Holy Sepulchre.
Holy Sepulchre. Now, this is where Jesus' tomb is.
Roman numeral 1, station number 1 of the cross. This is the most controversial one, remember, because according to this one, the whole route was decided. This is the one that the historians say really probably took place on the other side of the town. So what is station number 1? Jesus is judged. Let's read just one brief passage out of the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 15. So Pilate, Pontius Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Are you Portuguese? Brazilian? Obrigado. Here begins the difference between Catholicism and Protestantism in terms of the Stations of the Cross. The stations here, 3 and 4, are the first of several that are not mentioned in the Gospels. These are Stations of the Cross that are traditions of the Catholic and Orthodox churches. So I have nothing that I can read about it from the Gospels. I cannot speak inside, so I'm going to tell you about each of them. It's number 3 and number 4 over here on my left. Number 3, Jesus falls for the first time under the weight of the cross. And number 4, immediately adjacent to it, Jesus meets his mother Mary along the way of his passion. Jesus meets Mary, station number 4. Look off to my left and you see a bronze emblem with the number 5, the Roman numeral 5. Station number 5 of the Via Dolorosa. This station, unlike 3 and 4, is mentioned in the Gospels. We're talking about Simon of Cyrene helping Jesus carry the cross. Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry the cross. Let's just read one brief passage from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 23-26. As they led him away, they seized a man, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming from the country, and they laid the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. That symbol is a symbol of the Franciscan order of the Catholic Church. They were appointed by the Pope as custodians of the Holy Land. The people that want to buy cemeteries want something.
Batteries, memory card.
It is, again, you will not find it in the Bible. It is not mentioned in the Gospels. This is a Catholic tradition. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus with the handkerchief, and the image remains on the handkerchief. So you see here in Latin the mention of Veronica. Veronica means true icon. 7 directly in front of us is also not mentioned in the Gospels. It's a tradition of the Catholic Church. Jesus falls for the second time. Station number 7. If we were to continue up this little alley and go a little bit further, we reach station number 8, which is mentioned in the Gospels. Station number 8, Jesus talks to the weeping women of Jerusalem. And what does he say? I'm reading from the book of Luke. But Jesus turned to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For the days are surely coming when they will say, 'Blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed.'" Please wait for me at the top of the stairs. Do we have more people from our group? Station number 9. This signifies, commemorates Jesus' fall for the third and final time. Again, this is a tradition not mentioned in the Gospels. Jesus falls for the third time. This is the site that all of the denominations of Christianity, with the possible exception of the Protestants, view as the site of the crucifixion, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus. Truly the historic place of the crucifixion. In terms of the last stations of the cross, station number 10, when we climb up the steps, we are going to be at station number 10. Jesus is stripped of his garments, station number 10. Then when we get to the top of the stairs, you are going to be in a very important place for those of you that are Roman Catholic. That is Roman Catholic Calvary. the part of the site of the crucifixion. This place is absolutely fascinating. This is the site of the crucifixion. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday afternoon when these events take place. What is going to be happening on a Friday late afternoon according to the Jewish tradition? Yes, the start of Shabbat, the Sabbath. Remember the historical context, the cultural context. We're talking about Jews. They're all Jews. The Sabbath is about to begin. Jesus has been crucified on the eve of the Sabbath. In just a few hours' time, the Sabbath will begin. It is forbidden, according to Judaism, to execute on the Sabbath. It is forbidden to bury on the Sabbath. Well, they have a little bit of a problem. They have just executed him. Very, very soon the sun will go down and the Sabbath will begin. According to Judaism, it is forbidden. You must bury a Jew as quickly as possible after death. You cannot wait until the next day. He needs to be buried quickly.
Particularly not in Jerusalem.
He needs to be buried very, very quickly. So they need a burial tomb very nearby. Joseph of Arimathea, he provides the burial tomb for Jesus. So it's not surprising that the burial tomb for Jesus is very, very near the site of the crucifixion. There was no alternative. It needed to be done quickly. You have to use your imagination a lot. What was originally here was a hillside with burial caves in it. What you're seeing is a result of a lot of work that was spent to isolate the tomb of Jesus and place a structure on top of it. I get excited about it because there are very few places in the Holy Land, Christian sites, that we can prove their authenticity. This is the Protestant Church of the Holy Sepulchre because where you're standing now is an authentic place. And this is the reason that the atheist archaeologists and historians do have a consensus opinion that if there was a historical Jesus that walked the face of the earth, this surely was the place where he was most likely crucified and buried. And the reason is what you see right in there. What this is actual Jewish burial tombs from the Second Temple period from 2,000 years ago. It could even be that maybe even here Jesus was buried rather than over there.
Secula